Wilson producer of the James Bond films. Here I am at the royal premiere of The Spy Who Loved Me. Over the past 40 years, premieres have become a great tradition of the 007 films. Always glamorous and star-studded, these events are the hallmark of our films. It all began on October 5th, 1962, at the London Pavilion Cinema with the opening of Dr. No. Among the luminaries in attendance were James Bond's creator Ian Fleming and the film's stars Sean Connery and Zena Marshall. From Russia with Love premiered 1 year later on October 10th, 1963. This time at the Odeon in Leicester Square, which was to become the main venue for the Bond premieres over the ensuing years. Sadly, From Russia with Love was Ian Fleming's last Bond premiere. It was the first Bond film to attract the huge crowds that have become synonymous with James Bond openings throughout the world. From Russia with Love became the highest-grossing film ever released in Great Britain. On the evening of September 17, 1964, huge crowds gathered outside the Odeon in Leicester Square for the third 007 film, Goldfinger. Sean Connery wasn't there, but that didn't slow things down. The crowds became unruly. One police officer was pushed backwards through a glass door outside the cinema. Reinforcements had to be called in. Among the many celebrities attending the premiere was Shirley Eaton, who plays Jill Masterson. Here is Henrietta Tiarks with the son of the Duke of Bedford. And that's the lovely Nadia Rajin, a Yugoslav actress who appeared in both Goldfinger and From Russia with Love. And this is Leyru Rocky with her husband Ron Rander. Leyru was famous for showing up at events like this in eye-catching gowns. Anna Blackman delighted the fans and the media when she arrived wearing a specially designed piece of jewelry that literally encased her little finger in gold. Goldfinger also premiered in New York, where the VIPs were driven to the DeMille Theater in a fleet of Aston Martin DB5s. Shirley Bassey, who sang the title song, performed at the post-premiere party. The Paris premiere took place in February 1965 while the Bond crew were already shooting the opening sequences of the next Bond film, Thunderball, at a nearby location. Sean Connery drove down the Champs-Élysées in Bond's Aston Martin. A woman leaped into the car when he arrived at the cinema, and the crowds mobbed him. It was a madhouse. But the Paris gendarmes seemed more intrigued by the car than crowd control. The world premiere of Thunderball was held in Tokyo. The film was not shown in London until after it was released in the United States and many European markets, but it was still a wonderful event, held simultaneously at 2 cinemas in order to control the crowds. Sean Connery was not there. But here are the film's leading actors, Luciana Paluzzi, Adolfo Celli, and Claudine Auger. Leyru Rocky was back again, drawing the attention of the photographers, and we were delighted that Goldfinger leading lady Anna Blackman was there. On June 13, 1967, we were back at the Odeon in Leicester Square for the royal premiere of the next Bond film. You Only Live Twice was the first Bond opening to be attended by Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. It was a great honor that attracted press from around the world. Again, there were huge crowds. Sean Connery was there with his wife, Diane Cilento. Sally Ann Howes, who was starring in another Broccoli film project, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, attended, as did her co-star, Dick Van Dyke. Here we see Lawrence Harvey along with comedians Jerry Lewis and Phil Silvers. Tony Bennett came, and here is our screenwriter, Roald Dahl, with his wonderful wife, Patricia Neal. Next to them is Ivor Bryce, a lifelong friend of Ian Fleming. George Lazenby attended the world premiere of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, although he had already decided not to play James Bond again. The film was premiered in the presence of the Duke and Duchess of Kent. Diamonds Are Forever did not have a world premiere in London or in the United States. But the London press screening did attract attention when Sean Connery arrived with Roger Moore as his guest, fueling speculation that Moore would be the next 007. Even though Live and Let Die was screened first in the United States, the London royal premiere at the Odeon Leicester Square on July 5, 1973, was still a stunning event. Princess Anne is seen here with our new Bond, Roger Moore, and leading lady Jane Seymour. Also in attendance were Paul McCartney, who composed the title song, Linda McCartney, Burt Reynolds, Michael Caine, Peter Sellers, and David Bowie, among others. The Man with the Golden Gun continued the tradition of royal premieres at the Odeon, Leicester Square. On Thursday, December 19th, 1974, Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, was the guest of honor, seen here with Roger Moore. We picked a good day for the world premiere of The Spy Who Loved Me, July 7th, 1977, 7777. Princess Anne was again the guest of honor. The Moonraker premiere 2 years later included a mock-up of a space shuttle in front of the Odeon, complete with ushers dressed in spacesuits. There was also a spectacular New York premiere, followed by a party at Regine's attended by Roger Moore, Ken Adam, Maurice Binder, Richard Keel, Corinne Clary, and director Louis Gilbert. The royal premiere for Your Eyes Only was held in London on June 24th, 1981. That evening, we were especially honored to play host to Prince Charles and his fiancée, Lady Diana Spencer. Following their marriage, they would attend the next 4 premieres in London. The world premiere for Octopussy was held on June 6, 1983, at the Odeon, Leicester Square. We did things differently for A View to a Kill. Because of the wonderful cooperation we received while filming on location in San Francisco, we agreed to Mayor Dianne Feinstein's request to hold the world premiere of the film at the city's landmark Palace of Fine Arts on May 22, 1985. The following night, a benefit premiere was held in Los Angeles. The film was finally launched in Britain at the Odeon Leicester Square with a Gala Royal European premiere on Wednesday, June 12th. The studio and the producers always enjoy throwing post-production premiere parties for our friends and the filmmaking team. Usually the press are excluded. However, on A View to a Kill, we decided to let at least one member of the press have a peek inside.
Sir, do you have an invitation, please?
The name's Whittaker. Bob Whittaker.
The mission? To seek out the man who's licensed to make millions.
What is it about the Bond films that are so attractive to a mass audience?
I think the fact that if they want escapist entertainment, they're not going to be disappointed, because Cubby Broccoli spends the money, puts it up on the screen, and you see sort of things that you don't see every day.
Everywhere you go from here on in, people are going to demand you to be physical and throw people around. How are you going to cope with all that?
What do you mean? In the movies, fantasy, or in real life?
Well, both.
What do you want me to throw you around? Is that what you expect, is it? He's begging for it, isn't he?
The mission was over. I'd got my man and woman, or she got me. Time for a bit more undercover work. In this job, you have to investigate everything.
Well, the end of yet another boring assignment.
On June 29th, 1987, we introduced a new James Bond, Timothy Dalton, at the premiere of The Living Daylights at the Odeon in Leicester Square. Desmond Llewellyn showed the royal couple Bond's latest Aston Martin. The Prince of Wales made quite an impression on our leading lady, Miriam Dabo. License to Kill premiered at the Odeon Leicester Square on June 13, 1989. It was followed by the New York premiere on July 11th at Lowe's Astor Plaza near Times Square. Bond returned to New York in 1995 for the world premiere of GoldenEye at the Radio City Music Hall on November 15th to an audience of 6,000. It was a spectacular evening with the Bond stars Pierce Brosnan, Famke Janssen, Isabella Scorupco, Desmond Llewellyn, and our director, Martin Campbell. Also in attendance was Bond alumni Geoffrey Holder, as well as actors Gary Sinise and Lauren Bacall.
It's a great night. It's great to see Pierce come across so well. Everyone's very enthusiastic.
Our post-premiere party was held at the Museum of Modern Art. We all returned to London for the Royal European premiere with the Prince of Wales on November 21st, 1995. The opening was followed by a magnificent party at the Imperial War Museum. GoldenEye wasn't Pierce's first Royal Bond premiere. He accompanied his late wife, Cassandra Harris, to the opening of For Your Eyes Only. And here you can see Pierce just behind Princess Diana. The world premiere of Tomorrow Never Dies was held at the Odeon Leicester Square on December 9th, 1997. The date of the premiere also happened to be the birthday of our M, Dame Judi Dench. She was presented with a cake at the premiere party, which was held in Bedford Square. We returned to Los Angeles for a gala premiere at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion on December 16th, with nearly 2,000 friends and celebrities in attendance. On November 8th, 1999, we helped close out the millennium with the premiere of The World Is Not Enough at 2 theaters in Los Angeles. The European premiere of The World Is Not Enough was held at the Odeon Leicester Square on November 22nd, 1999. It was followed by a celebrity-filled party in St. James Square. Our most elaborate and stunning premiere was held at the Royal Albert Hall on November 18, 2002. There we screened the 20th Bond film, Die Another Day, to an audience of over 3,500. It was a wonderful 40th anniversary celebration for all of us, with many old friends from the Bond family, including Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, and George Lazenby. It was the only film premiere attended by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth during her Jubilee year. By far the loudest applause from the huge crowd outside was to announce the arrival of Halle Berry and Pierce Brosnan. These premieres not only celebrate the tremendous creative effort that goes into making a 007 film, but they also help to benefit many worthy charities. The tradition began with Goldfinger, and over the years we have helped many British charities, such as the Cinema and Television Benevolent Fund, the Newspaper Press Fund, the Scottish International Education Trust, the Edinburgh Press Charities, the Variety Club of Great Britain and New York, the King George's Fund for Sailors, both the Princess of Wales Charity Trust and the Prince's Trust, the STARS Organization for Spastics, the British Deaf Association, the Norris Comprehensive Cancer Center for Ovarian Research, and the Royal Naval Charity. We've held numerous charity events in the United States for such organizations as the Boys and Girls Clubs of New York and Brooklyn, an organization that was close to the heart of my stepfather, Cubby Broccoli, who was a New York native. We aided the West Side Community for Independent Living, the Tenderloin Child Care Centers, and many other worthy organizations. These premieres are a great part of the James Bond legacy. They provide us with an opportunity to say thank you to the thousands of people who take part in the making of a James Bond film, and to our fans who enjoy them. And I hope you've enjoyed seeing the highlights here.